Okay, here we go. We are back, pretty much experts. I'm Robert John, traveling the world being an artist, I guess. Here's my brother Mike, smoking his classic cigarette.
Woo!
And my other brother Skyler with the Infinity War headphones.
Just snapping away. Yeah. Hey, everybody.
So, yeah, here we go. Do we have any news for our audience? Every week we should start with some hot gossip. I don't know.
Yeah?
I'm springing this new subject on the crew.
Personal stuff? Wow.
Glad there was some talk of this beforehand.
Well, every time I take a sip of water, I gotta take a shit today. I'm so fucking hungover.
Wow.
Literally running out of me.
Wow.
That's hot gossip. Burning hot gossip right there.
Hot water.
So
I think you have a parasite.
I might have got a parasite at this fucking bar I went to last night. It's so gross. But wicked. Like, awesome. It's the kind of place you want to drink.
Yeah.
But,
Bring
like,
your kids.
don't put your fingers in your eyes or in your mouth after. I could have got a parasite.
No,
I thought I broke my foot on Friday, but pretty sure it's not broken. I just didn't do anything about it all weekend, and now it doesn't hurt as much, so I'm like, it's probably not broken.
Yeah, it's.
But it wasn't like a. Yeah, I that's the standard. Like, I want to give it like 4 or 5 days to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not going to go wait in a fucking hospital all day for them to be like, no, it's just sprained. It's such a waste of time.
Were you skating?
No, I wish. I was playing the fucking Spider-Man video game, which is so much fun.
What?
And I was like playing for so long that my foot fell asleep, like on the couch. And then when I got up, I was like trying to text at the exact same time. And I put my foot down. I go, oh, my foot's asleep. And then my foot just like kept turning under, and I just like heard a crunch, and I fell, and I smacked my head. It was brutal.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
How old are you?
Slow motion enough that like I put my foot down and go, oh, my foot's asleep, and then it's just like I'm still putting weight on my foot, and I'm just like tipping all the way over, and I'm hearing crunching. It's like, oh, like I totally just put my foot down sideways and tried to stand on it.
We're gonna have to get you like a video game walker.
Oh, it was brutal. And I hit the ground, and I'm like still like talking to my friend. I'm like, oh god, I just broke my foot. Hold on.
Yeah, you weren't even doing anything cool.
No, but that night was fun because I had
like
plans
rollerblading.
I wish I could say fucking trying on lavender jumpsuits and rollerblading.
Yeah,
but
didn't somebody in your family break their leg rollerblading? Didn't that somebody get caught in a fence with the rollerblade and break their leg rollerblading?
Just a hot game of road hockey, yes. Yes, I did do that one time. One time, got pushed into a fence, into a chain link fence, rollerblading. We were playing hockey, so it was like, fucking around. And
that's kind of a cool story.
Broke my fibia and my tibia. It's a great time.
Oh, both.
Yeah, it wasn't my foot, it was like my whole leg.
Yeah, that was like your all of grade 9. I remember you hobbling around.
Yeah.
That was different, wasn't it?
Grade 10.
Grade 10, was it?
Yeah.
The rollerblading one was way younger, wasn't it?
No,
they all blend together. That was that one?
That was that one.
You've broken your leg a fucking bunch, man. A bunch.
Yeah.
Like 3 times, right?
No, just twice.
Oh, okay.
Depending on, leg once, foot once, arm once.
Oh, I'm thinking the foot as part of the leg. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hopping fences. Yeah.
Bones are meant to be broken.
I think I cracked my ribs playing softball this year.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
I did that the first year we played. Like our first inaugural season. It might have been an inaugural game, like doing a head first dive into third, and I just like fucked up my ribs so bad, and I like did the standard like leave it for a week, and I'm just in like class, just like struggling to breathe, and it's like I think I really need to go to a doctor. Like if I'm sitting upright at a desk and I still can't breathe almost a week later,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go get this checked. And then they're just like,
Bad
yeah, there's
news.
nothing we can do. It was like one was broken and the cartilage between them was torn, and it's just like, yeah, just like don't do anything. It's like, I'm sorry, lady, we play again next Wednesday.
Yeah. Tape them up.
I am not missing again. I think I did miss one game, but
Give me the shot.
yeah, I didn't. I don't remember ever taping them. I didn't do the Diamond Dallas page.
No.
Just
But
get some B12
just took it easy
right
for a
between
while.
the
That's not a
ribs.
thing. You're not
No.
supposed to do that.
No, they do it in wrestling though, so you know that the guy's hurt.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, the tape? Yeah, no, that's not
Yeah.
good for your ribs. Or the tensor
No, you
bandage?
can't
No.
breathe or anything.
No.
No.
You
Yeah,
just gotta suck it up and deal. As long as you're not, as
Yeah.
long as your ribs aren't like poking in on your organs and cutting you. Yeah, they'll just
Yeah, you're good.
tell you to deal
They'll
with
heal
it.
up.
Yeah, they'll heal.
they'll heal. They'll heal. Oh, so then the rest of my night Friday, like I had plans to go meet my buddy at this. There's like a cool live venue in town called the Spirit Store, and we're gonna go to the Spirit Store and see some bands.
Yeah.
And this happened at like 9:30, and I told the guy I'd be there at 10. So I'm like, oh fuck! Like I pick myself off the ground and I like stand. I'm like, oh, it's fucked, but like I can still make it. It's like a 10-minute walk from here, and I
Yeah.
like barely got down the driveway and I just fall down again. I'm like, oh no! Like there's no way I can get there. So I just like sitting on my ass on the driveway, like phoned a cab, like come pick me up, take me out, meet him at the bar. We had so much fun. And then, like, he was, like, taking a cab home. And he's like, you want to hop in? I'll just drop you off at the end of the street. I'm like, yeah, man. Sounds good. And I'm, like, by this time, I'm not really thinking about it because I've just been sitting on a bar stool all night. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good to go. And I jump out of the cab at the end of my street, and it's just like, oh, no. Like, this 5-minute walk is going to take me an hour. It was ridiculous. It was so hard.
I bet.
Yeah, I hurt both of my ankles at the Slacker show just from jumping around. I got a bad ankle, but then the good one went, you know? And,
oh, no. Yeah.
And it was like, I woke up the next, like I parked in some weird neighborhood because it was close. And I didn't know, like, where anything was in that neighborhood. And I woke up and had to use the washroom right away.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, shit. And I get out of bed and it's like, oh, my fucking ankles. Like, god damn it. Like, didn't realize how trash they were from the night before.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and now I got to find a toilet. And it took me like 40 minutes of walking, which was probably a 10-minute walk. But yeah, it took 40 minutes of like shuffling down the street. It was brutal. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's brutal. That happened again, Friday night, like early Saturday morning. Like I finally got back to bed. I ended like the way that they called neighborhoods estates in fucking Ireland. It just sounds so like aristocratic.
So
like
fancy.
The estate has like these fucking walls that separate all the houses, and the way that this like estate works, it's like I have to walk all the way around the block to get to my house. Like it's like kind of a spiral, or I could hop the fence, which is like a 6-foot like stone wall, and I'm like I can do that even with 1 foot because there's no way I can walk all the way around this block on 1 foot. So I like crawled my ass over the wall. And it was like that thought of like jumping off the wall. I'm like, I have to land 100% on the good leg because the bad leg is fucked. And as I'm like leaving, I'm thinking like this is a like terrible idea. But I got home fine. There's no problem. Except like my leg is all scraped up from dragging myself over the wall on one leg. And then in the middle of the night I have to piss, and it's like fuck. I just had to like military crawl to the bathroom because by then it's like the endorphins and stuff have all worn off, and it's like there's no way I can walk on this right now. Like it's so swollen and purple. Like there's no way.
Wow.
But I just stayed off it all weekend, played more Spider-Man, and
wiggled your toes.
just walk. Yeah, just kind of walk on my heel right now, and it's fine. Just don't let my toes touch the ground.
Jesus. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So you're just getting old. You got to get up and stretch it out
Yeah, I just gotta stretch it out.
in
No
between
big deal.
missions.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Maybe Tapper cool after 7 hours of Spider-Man. You know?
Yeah. Stand up. Stretch your shit out.
Come in under 7 most days if you
I think I
can.
just have to. When I was a kid, though, like I used to love when your feet fall asleep and you have to walk on it. And it's so like, oh, but
you're the
being an
only one.
adult, I used to love it. My favorite thing going to like high school, like because we had to take the bus every day, was to put both knees like on the seat in front of me so that both my feet were asleep. And the like half-hour bus ride to school. Then when I had to get off, I'm like, whoa, like deer legs, like walking.
It's like a cheap high.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Did you guys remember? Like, did you guys ever like in elementary school like choke each other?
Yeah, of course.
Pass each
Yeah.
other out? Yeah.
That was
Everybody
the
did
thing.
that.
Someone
I
would
never
take off
did
their
it.
shirt and then hold it against your neck, against the wall. You know? And usually it was like the person getting choked out had to take their shirt off. So it was like they're unconscious with their shirt off. It made it extra funny. Yeah.
Just choke them with their own shirt. That's fucking classy.
Fucking kids, eh?
Choke them with their own
kids.
dignity.
Yeah.
Being a kid was
Take
the
off
best
your
before
shirt
the
and let me
internet.
choke you. Oh fuck! I never did it. I remember kids. It was a big thing. Like 4
Oh,
or
it's
5 people
huge.
did it one day at recess, and then like our principal came in, and like the next day after everything they all found out about it, and like
Yeah.
sat everyone down, just like, you can't do this to each other. Like someone's gonna not wake up one day, and you're gonna be the one who killed them with their own shirt. Yeah, we didn't have that policy at my school. They just didn't use their hands. That's,
Yeah.
just
So,
Yeah,
shall we get
to
to the
be
topic
young.
at hand?
I
Boys?
guess so. I guess that's
Yeah.
the cue.
Okay. This week we're going to talk about the life and times of the great Charles Manson.
Don't say it like that.
What do you mean?
The great and
Uncle
wonderful Charles
Uncle
Manson.
Charlie. The humanitarian.
He's a real giver.
He's a giver. He gave us so many things.
He gave a lot of dick to those women,
Yeah.
He also,
for sure.
yeah,
He did tell Diane Sawyer in an interview in 1994 that he fucks real good.
Did he say it like that?
Yeah. Basically, it
Oh,
was like, how did you
Jesus.
get all those followers? And he's like, you want to know how? Like, it's because I fuck real good. And she was just like, had the pen in her hand, you know, just like, oh,
oh Lord.
oh, mercy. But yeah, it's a bit of a
He's just got that 50-yard
bit of a
courtroom
crazy dude,
stare.
good guy, I guess. I don't know otherwise.
Yeah.
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 Oh man.
So like I did a bit of research before we started, and it's like this fucking guy spent probably 90% of his life in jail. It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder he's completely nuts by the time he gets out and gets to California when he's like 35. Because like 17 of his
Yeah.
35 years at that point had been in reform school and juvie and prison. It's just like, the guy's fucked. Lived in his cage his whole life. You give him a bit of freedom, and yeah, he took a lot. You give him a bit, he took a lot.
Yeah, he did. He did. He took a whole lot.
And like even his, I read a story about like his mother apparently sold him to another woman for a pitcher of beer because this woman wanted a big
Really?
family.
Wow.
And that his uncle, I guess would have been her brother, had to like find him, like tracked him down and brought him back. Like, no, you can't do this. Like
For a beer.
for a beer, yeah. That's already
Wow,
gone.
that's wild.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
gonna fuck you up, right? As a
that's gonna
child.
fuck you up.
Yeah. No dad. I think his mom might have been like a prostitute, and
Yep.
she just got knocked up
Wow.
by a guy named Scott, I believe.
Oh, wow.
We'll start there. My notes say November 12th, 1934. Little Charlie Manson was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, the son of his 16-year-old Kathleen Maddox. After his mother is jailed for robbing a petrol station, Manson's first known crime is a burglary of a grocery store in 1948, and is convicted of armed robbery at age 13.
Wow.
Jesus.
Did not
13.
waste any time robbing a goddamn grocery store because his mom is in jail for robbing a gas station. Like, they could have been a team.
They should have been. They might not have gotten caught.
They just communicated better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you distract them. Steal that Kit Kat bar. You know?
Yeah. Go
Little
over
Charlie.
there and, like, I think he used the kid as the, like, he grabs the apple and then you, like, go in and get the register when they're scolding the child.
That's it.
Where's your
That's
mother?
what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they had been thinking, man,
yeah,
could have saved a lot of heartache.
could have this could have been like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Yep.
Instead of.
I feel like the first
That's the
draft-
alternate route.
That's the alternate ending to that movie.
To that story, yeah.
Invites all those kids in, starts a cult.
I got a golden ticket.
Does that fuck real good?
Fuck real good.
That's a golden ticket if I ever heard one.
That's the golden ticket.
Yeah.
So, 7 years later, after being convicted of his armed robbery at age 13, he's out of jail and marries the hospital waitress named Rosalind Jean Willis, who gives birth to his first son, Charles Manson Jr. She divorces Manson 3 years later when he's back in jail for alleged car theft. So, spends 7 years in jail, all of his teenage years, gets out, gets married right away. 3 years later, back in jail for stealing cars.
Wow. Yeah, he's got a fucking rap sheet. Like, even up
and a lot of fucking
to
kids.
that point.
What?
A lot of kids.
Oh, he has kids. I thought you were like, he fucked kids? What?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
You did say every week of 2019 we're gonna, you know, put a spotlight on.
Get to the truth.
Yeah.
I think Roswell, like, we found a connection. Like, the Manson family, there's got to be several connections.
Oh yeah, aren't they from Kentucky?
No, they're from California.
Oh, I thought I thought his uncle was like a old Southern rebel or something.
Oh, I don't know.
No, there was something about that where, like, yeah, he wouldn't have been in that war. I don't think.
No,
like Civil War, like no.
No.
His uncle, maybe, if he was born. No,
his daddy might have been like a son of, maybe his.
Yeah,
daddy.
he was. Yeah, his father. Yeah, his.
Are we talking about the
Charlie's
Great War
grandfather
again?
or something?
We're back up. This is like
this is
fucking,
pre-Great War.
Yeah,
this is the
Pre-Great War?
This is the original Great War, the Civil War.
Fucking Civil War. Yeah, wasn't very civil.
No.
But there was something there for sure about them being like. I don't think he was racist though. Well, I guess he was. I guess it all came down to.
Who, Charlie? The one with the swastika on his forehead? That guy? That guy?
That guy?
Yeah, definitely not a racist.
Yeah,
Definitely not racist.
It was the clever tattoo.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but there was one point where he like went into hiding because he thought the Black Panthers were after him for killing a black dude or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the Spawn Ranch stuff where they finally got caught.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get
still
there.
He's just out of prison for the
Yeah,
first
he's
time.
still a
They're back
youth.
in prison
I
now.
think this is his first time out of prison. But
Does it
now
say
we're in
how old he is?
This is 1958. He's born in 1934. So you toss the math in there. 24?
Way.
Mm-hmm.
24?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Somewhere
So,
between 15 and 50.
He's an adult now going back to jail for an alleged auto theft.
Yeah, well, he's
Going
out
in
now.
single, too. Let's remember that.
Yeah. In 1959, he's out of jail again, and he marries a prostitute named Candy Stevens, has another child named Charles Luther, and then is arrested for forging treasury checks and is sentenced to 10 years.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and apparently it was like, I don't know what a treasury check is. I'm not from that era. but like
Well, what's
basically,
your expert opinion?
I think it's still like it's similar to now. If you go and deposit a check of a certain amount, you can withdraw some of the funds.
Okay.
But I think in that day, it was like a $40 check or something. I read, right? And it's like, so you could probably go and say, here's this check, and it takes so long to clear, but they'll give you the money up front, right?
Right.
And so I think that's where the fraud thing comes in, because he didn't actually have the money, or
Yeah.
But 10 years for that.
They didn't fuck around back then. And he's already
had been in and out of jail his whole life at that point.
He's probably still on parole at this term.
Parole. Yeah. Oh, no, 7 years, I guess, if he was out. Whatever.
But still, yeah.
No, he's only been out for 1 year.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. So he's definitely
he got out in 58. This is in 1959.
Yeah, you'd think.
Okay, so back to jail for Charlie.
Jack back to jail for about 10 years. And so he's
had 2 kids and named them both Charlie?
Yeah, when's Charles Luther, though?
Yeah, because that's a big fucking change.
Big change.
Yeah.
It's like George Foreman naming all his kids George.
Summer of Love.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, okay. Yeah, it's cool when he does it.
It's cool when he does it. So, 1967, April 1967, Manson's out of jail again, on his way to California, and he meets Mary Brunner, a librarian at Berkeley. That's a university, Mike. The first family recruit. He moves in with her.
Single me out. Fuck's sake. Thank you for that.
So she's the first family member.
He ended up in a hospital. So that's a hospital room.
Is that how that ended?
No, he's on his way to... She worked at a library.
Okay.
At the university library. And then, so this is April, and then in May 1967, he picks up 18-year-old Lynette Squeaky Fromm on Venice Beach when he's playing his guitar, and he brings her back to Mary's.
Yeah, so, like, I can't fucking remember the guy's name. I'm not that much of an expert. But when he was in prison, the last time, or the time, one of those times that he was in there, he was taught how to play guitar by, like, some old-timey gangster mobster guy from the Great Depression. Really? Yeah. And how he had a cool, like, name, like they do, like...
Yeah, Spunky Willis or something.
Yeah.
Mumbles.
Journey Malone.
Mumbles Johnson.
Journey Malone.
Dark Journey.
But, yeah, and, like, so he picked up... Like, I don't even know. Like, he would have just perfected the how to be social in the prison setting.
Yeah.
And I do know that when they released him, he asked them not to release him because he thought that he had been in prison his whole life, that he was just, like, cool with it, and B, he was like, I'm gonna do something, like, really bad, like, if you let me out. And they were just like, see you, Charlie.
We don't want you in here, Charlie.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy.
Tired of your antics.
Get you a fucking job at the grocery store and be on your way.
Have yourself another Charlie, little Charlie.
Yeah. But didn't he he didn't get married this time when he got out, right? Like
this is a full open family. Yeah, he learned the 2 divorces and the 2 kids named Charlie.
Yeah. I don't need to do that.
So later that summer of 1967, he meets Susan Atkins, who Manson meets in San Francisco, again while he's playing his guitar, and Mary, the first cult follower recruit, becomes pregnant.
Fuck, he must be good at the guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
I did see...
Playing guitars, bringing girls home to his other girls.
Yeah.
Neil Young, apparently, used to think that Charles Manson was, like, a great songwriter. And I've seen a clip of Neil Young talking about, the way he plays. He was just like, he's like, some people are considered like song machines, but he was more of just like a song like spewer. Like they just came out all the time. Like that's all he did.
Because if you hear the guy talk, he just talks gibberish, weird
Yeah.
metaphor. Like that's. Have you listened to any of his music?
No,
No.
none of his music. But he
His
does have like a
songs I wouldn't say are
sing-song way
good,
about him.
but they're interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a little known fact for our audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I got two Charles Manson music facts for you right off the
There
bat.
they come. Wow.
On Guns N' Roses has a all covers album,
Yeah.
Spaghetti Incident or something like that. I don't remember what it's called, and they cover Charles Manson's song on that.
What?
It's a secret track.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. I believe it's the 13 secret track on
Secret
that
song.
cover one.
And the other one that I would be surprised if you knew, on the hit TV show Friends. Yeah, I see by the look on your eye there. Phoebe Buffay famously sings Charles Manson songs, and it's one of the most famous songs she sings.
Really?
Yep.
Smelly Cat?
Smelly Cat. But they changed the words from garbage can to Smelly Cat. The Charles Manson song is garbage can, oh garbage can, what are they feeding you? And the rest of the lyrics are the same.
That's fucking wild. Phoebe.
That's twisted, Phoebe. That is twisted.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure, yeah. Okay, well. Like I say, Neil Young praised him.
So did Phoebe.
So did Phoebe.
Maybe he really is a
of our
messiah.
generation.
He could
Maybe he is.
Maybe he was right all along.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to give us a golden ticket. But so now he's basically, you're saying he's met the girls.
He's got 3 girls and one of them's pregnant.
Yeah, and one girl, I think it was Patricia, talked about how she was lured in because he basically just told her you're an ugly girl and I'm an ugly man. Let's go somewhere. Let's sneak off and just tell each other that we're beautiful forever. And she was like, oh yeah, okay.
That's
and
a good line.
thought that she was gonna be in a relationship with this guy, and then went home and there was 3 other girls there who were also just
ugly.
They're all so ugly.
Yeah, they're all ugly.
Get in the pile.
But, yeah, and I think it was Squeaky. He met her outside. She was crying on a bench, and he came up and just approached her and was like, "Yeah, just come with me. I'll make it all
Real
better."
opportunist.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
This is in the fucking what did we say 67 or
67?
Yeah.
67, where it's the summer of love, man. This is when people were just meeting people and didn't give a fuck about anything.
People just
no one wore bras or underwear, and it was just free flowing.
Oh yeah.
And apparently
no AIDS back then.
At the height of that summer, there was 70,000 people that had flocked to the San Francisco area to participate in the Summer of Love. So, people just, he just went around and introduced himself, and people that were interested, just hey, let's go hang out, come back with me.
Yeah, odds are good if you get an influx of 70,000 people.
That
one
is
of those
basically
fishies are going to bite.
It's gonna be a couple duds, right?
That's the next point I have written down here, actually. Fall 1967, Charles packs the ladies into a VW minibus and moves them down to LA. He looks to make connections in the music world, offering the girls as bait to lure in promising males to join the family. They wander around LA and Topanga Canyon, scrounging for food in dumpsters. Charles gets his first record company audition, a 3-hour session, but does not get signed. Susan Atkins becomes pregnant.
Jesus.
Damn, that's a big fall.
So someone took a chance on him.
Take a chance.
Just take
musically. Did he record?
Do you guys know?
No, that's the next guy. That's a different one.
That's a different guy?
That's a different guy. We're getting to that one.
He did professionally record his music.
Yeah, he did. There's legit albums, yeah.
Is it Hindelman or Hinman? Do you know? Does it say there the name of the guy?
Terry Melcher.
Terry Melcher. No, so this is before. No, this is
the one I thought you were talking about. The famous one.
But there's this other teacher that he had also met.
Right.
That
Yeah. That's right. Gary Hinman. Yeah, that's
Gary
like 4
Hinman,
points
that's right.
later. You're jumping the line.
Is that who we're talking about? Or are we
No.
talking about the Beach Boys?
That's the Beach Boy guy.
Is who
is Gary Hinman. That's way later.
No, that's not Gary Hinman. That's Dennis Wilson.
Is in the Beach Boys.
Yeah, Wilson.
Gary Hinman's a music teacher that introduced him
to Terry Melcher.
No, Terry Melcher's the music producer.
See, no, this is where a discrepancy is that the story I heard was that Dennis Wilson picked up Patricia, I think is her name, and another girl that was following Charlie at the time, and he drove them to where they had to go, and they whatever, and then later that day he saw them hitchhiking again, the same two girls, and picked them up and brought them back to his house, and told them who he was, that he was Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. And then he left the house, left the girls there, and went to the recording studio. And when he came back, Charles Manson was in his driveway, and the whole family had occupied his house.
What?
Yeah, they just basically moved in on him. And
yeah, that could possibly happen. Because my next note says Charlie does more studio sessions. Oh wait, sorry, we skipped one.
Oh,
March
Jesus.
of 1968, Mary gives birth to the son, the first of the many Manson family babies.
Jesus.
A couple of the girls meet Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys, who picks them up hitchhiking on the Sunset Strip. Charlie and the girls move in with Dennis to meet L.A. scenesters and music producer Terry Melcher.
Yeah.
So that does kind of sound like what you just made up.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Brian Wilson Dennis Wilson introduced him to Terry Melcher, but Dennis actually recorded a bunch of hours of Charles Manson stuff, and then, but they never released any of it. They recorded it all, and then Dennis actually recorded one of Charlie's songs and put it on a B-side of one of the Beach Boys albums, but changed lyrics and changed the name of it and didn't credit Charlie at all.
Of course not. You guys nuts.
But Dennis did say that he did give Charlie money.
Right.
So
I was gonna say that's not a guy you want to fuck over. Even this is before all the nastiness, but you
Dennis
could probably tell. But you could probably tell in his demeanor and character.
He's got 3 girlfriends.
He seems like a guy you don't want to fuck over.
They talk about how Charlie was very manipulative, and he could hone in on people's vulnerabilities and just get in there and mind fuck them. And Dennis ended the way his life went. It's he actually, they talked about in the show that I watched that it was he was always kind of felt like he was the less talented one of the group because he wasn't the greatest drummer. He was really good musically, but wasn't the greatest drummer kind of thing.
Right.
So and he was trying to do his own solo thing, and I don't think the Beach Boys were receptive of him doing his own solo stuff off the hop. But that he was he was a fan of Charlie. There were other people that were Charlie Manson was kind of that up and coming guy that it was people were man, no, you gotta get with this guy, but then it didn't really materialize past anything. You know what I mean? This Terry Melcher guy got introduced, and he was the Byrds producer and had hit songs with them, I guess, right? So, but I don't know, he didn't think he could do anything with Charlie Manson. It wasn't his property to go with,
right.
I do more disco things.
I'm a disco man.
Yeah, you're more Bob Dylan-esque,
Well, I'm interested in hearing some of the music. I wouldn't be able to pick it out,
It's a hacky version of Bob Dylan, I'd say.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking hate it then. I hate Bob Dylan. Absolutely hate
Hot
Bob
take.
Dylan. I don't want to hear another fucking Bob Dylan song for the rest of my goddamn life. You know?
I really can't remember
terrible,
where.
But
He is terrible. He's absolutely terrible. He's one of the worst. It's not his writing, it's his fucking style of music. You know? That, poetry style, folkiness. Like, fuck off. I'm sure in its time it was, hot and fresh, but, now it's just whatever, man. You know? I'd rather hear pretty much anybody else make any... I'd rather listen to Charles Manson. I'd never heard it, but I'd much rather listen to Charles Manson. Fuck Bob Dylan.
I can't remember who the fuck it was, so I can't even throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
I definitely talked to someone in the last 2 years that was like, oh, I just saw Bob Dylan. And I was like, how was it? And they're like, honestly, it wasn't that good. He didn't play any of his hits. And I was just like, what are his hits? That's
Tambourine Guy or whatever.
Do you even know Bob Dylan? He's not really a hit guy. He's more of a collection and influence guy.
Yeah.
His band was fucking sweet.
Yeah, the band is great. But yeah,
so good.
Bob Dylan hits, everything pre-1955? He puts out albums every couple of years still. He's one of those,
He shouldn't.
He's just banging music out. If you're going to go see him in 2017, don't expect to hear, whatever.
The hits.
Yeah, whatever.
The hits, whatever.
Hits are.
Yeah. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't even think of any. But yeah, he's not going to play any of that shit. That shit was 50 years ago.
I mean, one thing I can say positively about Bob Dylan is that it's cool that he's still trying. You know?
Yeah, I like that he's still trying.
At least he's not coasting. Yeah.
No, he's not the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
No, but
Volcos.
Fuck them too.
Fuck them too.
Yeah.
With that all said, I did find that it Never Learn Not to Love is the Beach Boys song that Charles Manson co-wrote, I guess. We'll call it co-write.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to check that out.
So that brings us... We're in the summer of 68 now. Charlie does some more studio sessions and hoping to get a record deal with the Beach Boys label, but Brian Wilson doesn't like him and is not impressed by the music. The family, which is now a couple of dozen, moves to the Spahn Ranch outside of Hollywood, a movie set owned by the elderly George Spahn.
That's fucking cool. I wish I lived on it.
Oh yeah, I want to live on that movie set. Yeah. And you hear all those stories about them finding old costumes and shit and putting on plays, and every day they're just we're cowboys today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun as shit.
That too comes down Charlie mind fucking them, right? Where it's you're taking them out of reality and putting them in hey, today we're all gonna dress up as cowboys and all day we're gonna be cowboys.
Yeah.
That it's stripping them of their identity and tomorrow
he's
we're
trying
gonna be
to peel back.
And,
he's trying to peel back what's left of their, identity from years previous.
And the LSD is rampant, right?
Big time.
People, he's just feeding them LSD at this point.
Yeah, one thing I heard too was that one woman was he would basically use the LSD as a way to subliminally put ideas into their head because they're out of their mind. And she's I don't remember ever seeing him take acid with us.
Yeah. Right.
He might have been sober.
The last names are also fucking stupid. I'm not even going to attempt them, but it was Patricia was the one that said that.
I don't know, yeah.
But yeah, and she was they talked about how he would give them LSD, and then when they were tripping balls, he would he would reenact this Stations of the Cross of Jesus Christ's death.
Yeah, the crucifixion and stuff.
And tell them that he would die for them, and then ask them would you die for me? And they're all fucking each other high on LSD, just Charlie, we'll do anything for you.
Whatever you want, Charlie.
Whatever you want, Charlie.
You guys haven't done acid, the two of you, right?
He was basically a pimp for.
Oh, definitely.
That's all it was. He got his girls together.
Yeah. I think we got a weird delay going on here.
No.
But but yeah, when you're doing acid, like there's some residual effects.
I don't think I'd be able to.
I would do handle it.
Oh, your internet's so fucked.
Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Like you get your I don't think you can be a pilot ever if you've done acid. I don't know. That's a urban legend or not, but
yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me? What if I talk like this? Oh, he gone. He's gone.
We can't hear you anymore, buddy.
Yeah, you're gone, bud.
I'll give him 0.2 seconds to join. Yeah, you're saying like he's a pimp, like for sure. He like that's how they were able to stay on that Spawn Ranch. He was just paying the rent with whores.
Yeah. And and then just manipulating them through drugs and slowly brainwashing them to, I don't know whether they thought they were a family or not. They were, I think sometimes they even introduced him as their guru.
Right.
Like a priest, I guess, or it was a cult basically.
It was for sure a cult. I would still call it a family, though. I don't know. They're together at this point for a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't a family.
I
Charlie
think you can have
definitely wanted a family. I think he tried that twice and it didn't take.
Well, he's got 5 kids at this point.
Yeah.
All named Charlie.
Well, yeah, I guess with the girls, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess it could be anyone's. I'm sure some of them
could be.
His.
Yeah. Maybe they don't keep track anymore.
No, they're all the daddies. And I guess I don't know. Has he met Tex yet? Has Tex?
Yeah,
come?
I think Tex is already there.
He must be.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I did my research, I couldn't really find much on Tex.
No. There's a drug deal thing that he was involved in before the murders, and then the murders. Those are the only times I ever saw his name.
Yeah. And even afterwards, I found it. I did end up finding some stuff, but I found it even hard to now that he's in prison or whatever. I guess we'll get to it, but he was a hard. Everyone else is front and center, right?
Right. So that brings us to March of '69. This is a couple months later. Angry that Terry Melchner has failed to deliver a record contract, Manson goes to Melcher's house on Cello Drive. He's unaware, though, that Melcher has moved away, and he shows up in the middle of a party thrown by the new resident, Sharon Tate. So it's total fucking coincidence that he met Sharon Tate.
Yeah, he again, Melcher didn't want him to fight. It was I can't do anything. And then when...
Probably moved for that reason. It's that fucking psycho that lives in the movie set on the other side of town knows where I live. I'm moving.
Yeah. And I guess too, even before this, we should talk about is the whole helter-skelter motive. That I guess he was brainwashing these people. At the same time, he was telling them that the Beatles were sending them secret messages through the White Album.
Yep.
And through the song Helter Skelter about a pending race war, where black people and white people would fight, and black people would win the war, but then later on, because they were so far behind in civilization, they wouldn't be able to form a proper society, and that his followers would hide in the desert and wait for them to come and find them, and then they would lead them to they would be the new leaders of the world. They would lead after the war took place and the black people couldn't figure it out. Charlie Manson and his followers would show them how to do it and take over the world.
Yeah. And that's why the murders, in a way, started, because he kept saying that this was going to happen, and people started questioning him, hey, Charlie, how come this hasn't happened yet?
Yeah.
And then he changed the story from this race war is going to happen any day now to like it's our mission to jumpstart this war. So we're gonna, do some of the devil's work, kind of get this snowball rolling.
Yeah, basically we're gonna like you got a 9/11 this kind of thing.
You got a 9/11
right? Like,
this thing, yeah. It's not going to kick off itself.
You need the smoking gun that everybody can turn their head and look at, and they were going to do it.
Yeah, the weapons of mass destruction are not going to discover themselves.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know if it's, like, the original members, but it really was, like, especially a lot the girls were all a lot of the girls that he found right off the hop, right? Like,
yeah.
Patricia
they're his main ones. Sue Atkins and...
Sue Atkins.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the rest of their names. Kathleen, I think, was one.
Just make it up.
Van Houten is the other one.
Van Houten, I remember. She was. Yeah, she was. Oh, there's a story there. That girl, Van Houten.
So let's get to the murder spree anyway. So this happens in late July '69. Gary Hinman, Skyler was talking about earlier, is a music teacher who they met through Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. He's tortured and killed in his home by one of Manson's followers, Bobby Boselli. The word political piggy is written on the wall in Hinman's blood.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So this one happened first or after?
This is first. This is first.
Yeah. Which is like getting into our like theme of like shitty police work, but like so this was first, and then the Tate. This wasn't connected to the Tate murder
or the LaBianca one.
No.
None of them are connected.
No, absolutely not. This is
police
not
are
a thing.
useless. There's like multiple themes of this show, and one of them is that police are useless.
Yeah, and I also believe that Susan Atkins was responsible for that murder as well. The Hinman murder. It was her and the Boselli guy, and maybe Clem. I think was another guy. I saw his name.
Fucking Clem was there.
Yeah.
So then about 2 weeks later, August 9th, 1969, is the night of the Tate murders. 4 members of Manson's cult invade the home of the film director Roman Polanski and his wife, Sharon Tate. Under Manson's instructions, they murdered Tate, who was 8 months pregnant at the time, and 4 other people on the property. The word pig is written on the house in Tate's blood. Roman Polanski was not home.
Damn.
So that's the one that gets the most attention, because Sharon Tate was a movie star.
Yeah.
Yeah, and highly publicized.
Abigail Folgers.
Folger coffee lady.
Yeah, was the heir to the Folger coffee empire. So she had some dough. Wow. Yeah. And
it's true that they didn't rob them. They just killed them. Like they
just killed them.
Yeah. They killed them, and like the caretaker had a friend over who was in the driveway that was like just leaving. Tex shot him in the chest 4 times, I believe. And then I believe his name was Wojciech. Wojciech, I don't know his last name.
Throw a ski on the end of there.
Wojciech, yeah. Yeah,
that sounds right.
Wojciech has a name on this guy, right?
Won't check tomorrow.
He was dating Abigail Folgers, and the hairdresser, who was like the hairdresser of the day, like he did everybody's hair. Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson.
That's good haircuts.
Yeah, giving out haircuts to all those people. So it was a lot of rich people in that. And this Wojciech guy, I think, was like best friends of Roman Polanski from like childbirth kind of thing.
Well, that cycles us all the way back to the kid diddling, the Roman Polanski connection.
Well, that's just like, why couldn't Roman be there? You know, like
of all the people.
Yeah, of all the people that could have been there that day. Why not?
Yeah, no kidding.
Why not?
So, I mean, also to circle back around, like, do you think he was banging these dudes, too?
Probably.
I mean, how else would he coerce them? Like, just like the
well, they get access to the fine
I was going to say
girls.
The possibility that they could all hook up with these random women, but eventually that's just like they're living in this commune. That's on them. It's not really up to Charlie anymore. So how does he get him in initially? He must be banging him.
Oh no,
he fucks real good.
He's giving the girls to the dudes as like, if you come hang out with me, you can fuck all these girls whenever you want, kind of thing.
Okay. You don't think he's laying down some pipe with these guys, or?
I don't know. I'm sure he could have. I'm not doubting it. I know that.
I'm saying that's a very real possibility.
Oh, it's definitely. I read that Dennis Wilson had to pay for when they were all living at his house for that hot second. He would pay for he paid for cars and booze and drugs for everybody, but he also paid like a lot of money for penicillin because all the family members were just like rabid with gonorrhea and kept giving it to each other.
Yeah.
So that's why he eventually, I think he just sold his house and left. He was just like, I'm leaving, and didn't tell Charlie where he was going. And Charlie actually gave a bullet to his the person that took care of his house, I guess, like the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Gave her a bullet and told her basically like, I want you to give this to Dennis and tell him to look at it, and every time he looks at it, just remember that his family and his wife and kids are safe for now.
Wow.
And and so
creepy,
he just kind of tried to cut ties, and it pissed Charlie off. And that's like this house, right? The Terry Melcher lived in that house.
Yeah.
At one point, and the speculation is that Charlie looked at that house as like the house of represented fame, and the rich of the richest lived in this house. So when the time came, he didn't really give a shit who was there.
Folger's lady was a nice get though for his cause to fight the system.
No kidding.
Yeah, I don't think he was banking on that, right?
No, that was total. A lot of this is just fucking horrible coincidence.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. So then the next night, August 10th, Manson and 6 of his followers visit the house of the supermarket executive Leno LaBianca and his wife Rosemary. Manson ties up the couple and leaves his property before they are stabbed to death. So this is like the supermarket chain where him and the family used to dumpster dive.
Mm-hmm.
And the house beside the LaBianca's house was a house that the Manson family used to party at, or at least Charlie used to go to parties at. So he knew that house. Wasn't, again, I don't think he knew who lived there, but it was just knew the area, and
easy mark.
Yeah, we can fuck this house up if we want, kind of thing, right? And and I also know, this was also Charlie was at this murder. He actually went in, broke into the house first, and tied the LaBiancas up.
Yeah.
And then left and sent Tex and the girls in. And that Van Houten girl was at this one. This was her murder that she was in on. I don't think Susan Atkins was on this one.
No. Well, this one had 6 followers. The last one only had 4. So
yeah.
I think at the Tate murder the night before, there was a bit of a struggle because they didn't know how many people were there. So there is blood all over the house because I think it was the Folgers lady was running for her life and chased down and stabbed in multiple rooms.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. The next day he sends 6 people instead of just 4.
Yeah. I know that when in the Tate murders, Sharon was pregnant at the time, and so she was very much just
sitting duck.
Yeah, and I think there was even a story. Either way, they tried to they tied up her and the hairstylist guy, and then when they tried to tie up Wojciech and Abigail, they both struggled and ran, and the girl Patricia tracked down Abigail and stabbed her a bunch of times in the chest.
Yeah, and all of these killings, it's reported 100 stabbings, 60 stabbings collectively. They fucking went for it, man.
Yeah.
At the Tate house, there was over 100 stab wounds between the 5
they
people
went
that
for
were
it.
there. 7,
That's
5
completely
people?
insane.
That's
Ridiculous.
insane.
Like, absolutely. Apparently, to the one Patricia said that Abigail said at one point while she was stabbing her, like, "I'm already dead. Like, just stop." You know?
Yeah, that's scary, man.
It's fucking
It's crazy to think, like, how coercive, or whatever the fucking word is, how Charlie managed to coerce all these people into doing these things. Fucking murdering helpless people. Like, for this, like, kind of, like, undetermined cause, you know? Like, he had an idea in his head, but, like, he's planted it in theirs and doesn't really know what the end game is other than stirring the pot. It's just wild to think that someone has that ability, especially somebody so tiny and frail, you know?
And these are all, like, basically not random. I guess they are random, but they have nothing to do with it. Like,
no.
There's no personal slight, except for this next one. This is a month later, August 25th. Manson instructs his followers to kill former stuntman Donald Shea, who he believes has passed information off to the police. So this is the only one that's like, we have to do this because he's threatening the family. Like, we think this guy's talking to cops, so he needs to die. Whether that's true or not, we don't know.
No, it could have been all in his mind.
Yeah, he's just paranoid. But, like, that's the only one that has, like, we're defending, you know, this lifestyle, not just go to a house that we happen to be nearby a few times years ago.
It is
kill
it's a
everybody
motive, but you're right, it is a motive, right? Like,
that's the only one that has, like,
But I do know, too, that at the Laviolette house, they ate chocolate milk and watermelon.
Pineapple.
P.S. What the fuck is the Laviolette house?
What's the second people, the grocery people that they...
The LaBianca.
LaBianca, sorry. There's too many names.
I'm like, damn, this guy knows so many more killings that have been reported over
the LaBiancas, okay, after they killed them, after everyone was murdered in that house, they ate watermelon out of the fridge.
Oh, they probably ate such great snacks.
What is this fruit and milk fucking thing? Like, who does that? Who does, like, all these killings? There's some weird undertone to these killings too, like with the Ramsey thing, the pineapple and milk, now watermelon and milk. Like, I think that's a murderer's diet.
That's a murder diet.
The watermelon is because this is, like, I've heard this. I watched a documentary one time on this guy that used to, like, he gave, like, Hollywood tours of the Manson murders. So, like, he, like, knew his shit, I guess. But this story that he told was that they left the rinds of the watermelon in the sink because Charlie Manson thought that black people liked watermelon.
Oh, he's framing them.
It's a stereotype thing. So he was trying to frame them that when when they found it, they would find the rinds and be like, "Oh, must have been a black person."
Wow.
Because it was the whole Helter Skelter thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. He should have got some grape soda. You know?
Grape soda, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been more convincing.
Torn up child support bill.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay. Leave it at that.
But also, like,
we all know what you're talking about.
Twisted, but that Tex made sure on the LaBianca murder that everybody was involved as per Charlie's orders. And the girl Van Houten actually stabbed Rosemary LaBianca like 16 times in the back to make sure that she was, like, involved in the murders. 16 times, like,
it's a lot.
He said get involved. He didn't say fucking, like, just destroy her.
Dig your way to China.
And somebody carved war in the guy's chest.
And that's back to cops are useless. Like, okay, Charlie's a fucking moron leaving watermelon behind to, like, trick people into thinking black people did it.
Yeah.
But they're also like writing blood and war and death to the pigs and political pig, like in blood on walls. And like the cops don't see these 4 murders as related.
No.
Which is insane, like on their end.
Like, they're all a month apart.
Like they're very
clearly. Did the stunt guy have anything written in his blood?
No, but you're right. Yeah, so maybe the stunt. It doesn't say the stunt guy has anything written in blood.
Definitely, like the Hindman guy.
Yep.
Was not in. Like they didn't think about him at all, even though it said political piggy, I believe, in blood. And then they wrote pig on Sharon Tate's door.
Yeah.
And then they wrote like all pigs burn or something, burn pigs, I think.
Yeah.
In the other house, and they didn't include the Hinman. And then in 48 hours, there's 2 murders with fucking blood pig written somewhere, and they're just like, oh no, the second one was a copycat. Like
if you were just if you were to leave out any other evidence and just present that to like an unbiased party, they would very likely be like, this is probably related.
Yeah,
probably. Being in the police station, it's like another murder town. They wrote pig on the wall in blood again. He's like,
not again. Yeah,
it can't be this. Gotta be a copycat.
It's gotta be immediately.
It's like that fucking South Park episode with like the hand murderer, right? Where
these are both
cuts off all the left hands, and then when he goes into the murderer's house, he finds a wall of right hands, and just like, no, it can't be him. I don't know. It's just so fucking stupid. And also, I read that apparently, like after the Tate murders, like. Again, this is like 48 hours of just mayhem, but after the Sharon Tate murders, like, gun stores across LA had, like, run out of guns.
Yeah.
People just went,
there was a panic.
Such panic, right? Like, this one store recorded selling, like, 200 guns in one day. And then, they still struck again, I guess you could say, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's fucked that was they did.
It would be scary as shit though.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no motive at this point. They got nothing.
No.
And the cops just think everyone's a copycat.
Yeah, it's all just a copycat. So then that brings us to October '69 when Manson and the whole family are arrested. 27 of them are picked up at the Spawn Ranch for car theft. Yeah. Completely unrelated. But while in custody, Susan Atkins is telling fellow inmates about the murders and kind of bragging that they're actually the ones that have been doing everything. And those prisoners go on to tell the police. And the whole story kind of reveals itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, blew the top off it.
Too, though, they were investigating Susan for the murder, the first murder as well, at that point. There was a weird... Yeah, I had read that she was also...
There was some connection there?
I think that, like, it's a pretty weird auto theft charge that they kept getting. That I think the cops were just like, we know that you guys are involved in this.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah, like, for the longest time, Charlie was just in on an auto theft charge. For, that it was like, why are you still holding me? And it's like, well, you're charged with auto theft. We can't pin anything else on you at the moment. But
they put the pressure on them, and well, look what happens, right? It all comes to the surface.
And but Susan was the one, like, she killed Sharon Tate. Like, she confessed to that.
Yeah, she did a lot of it.
Yeah.
So she ends up making a deal that
she didn't make a deal.
She makes a deal that allows her to write a book and keep the rights, which is like super.
Susan.
Yeah, which is she's going to jail forever, but at least she can write a book, which is usually not allowed. Like, you're not allowed to write books about your crimes and make a profit on it.
Yeah.
But in exchange for that,
because it's so prolific, or
I think it would just be like, you don't want criminals to be making, like OJ making fucking money on shit.
Yeah.
Like, after you commit a crime, like, you can't go to jail and then sell, the life rights to your book and then make millions of dollars. Like, no.
Yeah. And because this is already so prolific, they were like, well, maybe we'll get some details that we otherwise wouldn't uncover.
Yeah, because they're useless, and so far they've got nothing. So
absolutely
they still don't know that these murders are related.
Well, yeah, they do now
No,
because
they do
Susan
now, I
Atkins
know.
is like gonna spill the beans.
Yeah.
They're still convinced it's copycats. Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't
But
have
like
done all of
even
them.
it was totally right. Like one of the girls flipped on it. On Manson, the driver,
Yeah,
Kalawowski or
Oh,
something.
who would have seen that
Yeah.
coming?
Patricia Krenwinkel.
No, not her. Patricia's in jail.
Okay.
Not Van Houten. Fuck, I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm blowing it this week.
Blown
on
it.
But
The
she
only other
actually,
girl I got arrested is Susan Atkins and Patricia Krenwinkel and Leslie Van Houten. But I guess there might be another one that's not listed in the trial.
yeah, well, like
she
you said,
flipped.
they basically arrested the whole family.
Yeah.
And this one girl, she's actually, there's a documentary you can find. I also don't know what it's called, but she has been released. She's the only one that's been released, and because she cut a deal that it was like,
she's only getting 15 years or something.
Yeah, but she talked, and basically she was the only one that had a legal California driver's license. So she was the driver for the two murders, the Tate murder and the LaBianca one. And so when they all got arrested and they questioned her, I think she also left the cult at one point. She ditched her kid there too. Like she had a kid and left it and just got the fuck out and went to the cops and told them what was up as well. And so she testified against everybody because she admitted to being there, but she didn't kill anyone. She just drove, allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a cool little doc of her where they interview
her. So this is December 19th. The famous Life magazine issue comes out with Manson on the cover just in time for Christmas, and it's a huge seller, which brings
creepy as shit.
Yeah, which brings him national-wide attention. And Life magazine presents the prosecution's version of the murders, including introducing America to the official Manson story and the helter-skelter theory. And then July of that year, the trial begins, and it's a media circus with Manson, Atkins, Van Houten, and Krenwinkel acting up in court together. Manson carves an X on his forehead, announcing to the room, "I've X'd myself from the world. No man or lawyer is speaking for me." The next day, the three girls show up with X's carved on their own foreheads.
I'm like, how soon after did he put the little dicks on it and turn it into a swastika?
When he went to jail.
Yeah, he did that in prison.
Yeah. He did that in prison, and it became. He got
did
it
the
like
girls
tattooed.
follow suit?
No.
No,
but so even like this is fucked too, where like there was like the Manson family like lived it basically outside of the courthouse while all of this was going on.
Yeah.
And Charlie Manson had made it that like now this is where it's weird, where Charlie and the three girls were all charged and in court together, but Tex had his own...
a separate trial, yeah.
He had a separate trial, where basically, again, it was... Charlie then had basically manipulated the three girls to getting their three separate lawyers to defend Charlie. Because Charlie also tried to, like, get hit to be his own lawyer, and they were like, absolutely not. Like,
you're a fucking maniac.
You are.
Yeah, you are fucking.
We do not want to listen to you talk that much.
Yeah, but so that there was like pre-planning every day of like, like he told them one day like you're gonna hold hands and walk into the courtroom singing this song of his that they knew every word to because that was like the only music he let them listen to on the ranch.
Right.
But yeah, and then when he carved the X in his head, same deal. Like you're gonna carve the X in your head. They shaved their heads at one point, and even the followers outside had done it, right? Like, I don't know if they all carved X's, but they shaved their heads at one point, and like it was just a media circus for the month.
So do you think if they let Charlie defend himself that it would have been all songs? He just would have wrote songs and presented his story that way.
I think
because he has a fucking ego. Like, let's get down to it.
Grounds for a mistrial, honestly. Like, I'm surprised that this trial went on. Yeah. Like, going by, like, this is December 19th when Life magazine puts out this story and the prosecution's side of it. The trial's not till July. So, like, right away, like, you're fucking...
They've already painted him.
You're painting it pretty black. Yeah. And then during the actual trial, Ronald Reagan gave a speech saying, like, I know this as much as America knows, Manson's guilty. Like, he just had some stupid comment.
It was Nixon.
No, it was Reagan, I think.
No, Reagan was in the 80s. This is like
70s. Yeah, you're right. It was Nixon. Yeah, it's Nixon. You're right. It was Nixon.
But yeah, Nixon fucking basically like Stephen Avery'd him, just like, oh, Manson's guilty. He's guilty as charged.
And now in the eyes of the public and anybody who might
in class or in the trial, he held up the newspaper that says Nixon says Manson's guilty.
Jesus, yeah, like.
Yeah, so in the eyes of the public and anybody who might be on the jury, it's like they've already got this fucking idea in their head.
Yeah. Like, he is
granted,
for sure
he
guilty,
was guilty as something,
But the trial should be unbiased.
Yeah,
can't have the fucking president declaring you guilty on the TV while your trial's on.
They didn't want that.
And it's printed in every newspaper across the U.S.
They don't fucking care. They're putting them away. They know they're putting them away. Like, this is just like...
Fuck, I don't know.
Nail in the coffin.
It would have been a wild time.
So, in the end of July 1970, a jury finds the defendants guilty on first-degree murder, and they're all sentenced to death. Appeals delay the executions, and the sentences are changed to life imprisonment when California abolishes the death penalty in 1972. I think California went back to put the death penalty back in the 1980s, but all their sentences have already got changed to life, so they just like are going to go to life in jail forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if California... Yeah, I bet you they do.
I think they have the gas chamber. I don't know what's going on in the U.S. with death penalties anymore. It seems like...
They referred to it... In the 70s, they called it the green room.
The green room.
In California. They kept telling Charlie he was going to the green room. And I guess, like, Charlie used to preach a big story about how life and death were one and the same. And, you know, it didn't matter that they were killing these people because they were probably doing them a favor, right? Like, this was his weird, like, mythos.
Yeah.
That when they were sentencing him to death, that he was shaking in the chair. So, they're saying for this big, strong cult leader that talks a big game about life and death being the same thing and not to be afraid of it. Like, he was clearly upset and shooken by the sentencing.
Yeah.
Like, this guy told these women that he was the son of God at one point, and that his last name was Manson because he was, like, man's son. Like, the son of man, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just the dumbest fucking shit, and it's just that, like, these cult leaders, like, you talk a big game until you actually have to, like, confront the real world.
Because he wasn't afraid of prison. Like, it's not like...
No.
Oh, I don't want to go to... Like, he fucking loved jail. He grew up in jail. He's Bane. He was born in the
that's his most comfortable place.
Yeah. Murdered by it.
Yeah, so him going to jail is not a problem. But then when it's like you're getting the death penalty, then he's like, oh, wait, shit. It was actually all Squeaky.
Squeaky did it.
Squeaky did it.
Squeaky didn't do any of it.
Squeaky tried to kill... What president was that? Ford. She pulled a gun on Ford, but it didn't go off.
Yeah.
Wow.
She says she deliberately discharged the weapon in her washroom, which they did find the cartridge and the bullet in the washroom. So basically she went up to Gerald Ford with a gun that didn't have a bullet in the chamber. And I think
knowingly,
that's what basically got her off. Not all, like she did like 30 years in prison.
Oh,
She's out now. Also, she was called Squeaky because when Charles Manson used to fuck her, she would squeak.
No way.
Yeah.
Not just the bed squeaking.
Nope. She made a squeaky noise when he would fuck her when he first met her, so she was squeaky.
Well, if that doesn't say I fuck real good, I don't know what does.
Squeak. I also don't think Squeaky ever like renounced Charlie's ways. I think she still like, you know, sees him for who she thought he was in the 60s.
Well, because when she shot at, or allegedly, you know, pulled her gun on Ford, that was 10 years later. Like, she was still fucked then.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't the same year. Like, that was 75 or something.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 years, right? Like, Nixon would have been out of presidency because of Watergate, and so Ford took over. So it was like probably like 74. But so that, it's still, right, that...
She's still fucked then.
And he would have, like, Charlie was in jail by the 70s.
Yeah.
Right, like, that was all fucking done. They all got life sentences. Tex, like, again, though, Tex had his own separate thing going on.
He tried to plead insanity, and then they didn't let that slide. They're like, you're not
He was
insane.
Originally given the death penalty, right?
They all were.
Yeah. But then they abolished the death penalty. But, like, I'm pretty sure that California has a death penalty, so they must have brought it back.
And, like, Tex said that thing, too, where he was like... I can't remember word for word the quote, but it's, like, from fucking Devil's Rejects, like, I am the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work.
That's a pretty fucked up thing to say to somebody.
Yeah. He said that when he walked into, like, the Sharon Tate house. Like,
wow.
Yeah. So... I don't know if you get insanity.
No. He seems like he is well aware of what was going on.
I think that, if anything, the followers maybe could have an insanity, Stockholm...
Yeah.
Battered women syndrome.
Yeah, well, they're severely manipulated.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that, like, one guy did a test on Charlie Manson and declared that he wasn't insane, that he was just frustrated. And it's like everything he does is out of frustration. And it,
backed
the whole
up or what?
music career, like RJ, you were saying, he was this guru that preached this idea, and then when it didn't happen, it was like, fuck, like, I gotta do something. Like, I have to bring it to fruition, I guess, right? So, yeah. And now he's in jail forever. And dead.
Yeah, he died like 2017-ish. Not that long ago.
Not long ago at all. He's also got set on fire in prison.
Oh yeah, I could imagine there'd be a hit out for him. You get so famous in prison for fucking up a celebrity.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody apparently there was like a the Hare Krishna group.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was praying to his god, and Charlie fucking made fun of him. And then, like, the guy threw some sort of, like, gas or oil on him and burnt, like, 20% of his body. Charlie's, like, fucked him up good. Yeah.
Wow.
And
God damn.
Like, oh, you made fun of my god? Fuck you.
Oh. Roast ya.
Yeah. Absolutely wild. And he got married. Charlie got married, too. Or he almost got married at one point.
Yeah, that all, like...
I remember something about that.
There was some chick that wanted to marry him, like, right before he died, like, 2015-ish. And it was, like, all in the news, like, he's getting married. And then he kind of, like, uncovered it that she just wanted to marry him so that when he died, she'd be, like, his widow and would have rights to the body and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she's going to make tourist attraction or something.
Yeah, like a Black Mirror episode of just, like, come see the body of Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
Right? Like...
Which is kind of strange that he didn't like that.
Yeah, it didn't happen, though.
It seemed like that'd be right up his alley. That would be like, display me.
Yeah, that would feed the ego.
I'd go see it.
I'd go see
He's
it.
crazy as fuck.
I'd think about it.
I wanted to, like, take a trip to the Spawn Ranch. That'd be fucking sweet, but it got burned down.
Oh, yeah.
The place where they found him, though, is still a thing. It's burnt down.
Yeah.
But also, I read that where they were staying was actually, like, the first ever, like, highway that they created in, like, the Civil War era.
Right.
So it was like this road that the stagecoaches, like you had to take this road to get to L.A. And so now this area where Charlie was caught and this stagecoach road is part of a national park that is like, they can't touch it. It is what it
Protected,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can still go to where he was caught. It's not the ranch, or it's not the movie set. Maybe it is the ranch. I don't know. There was two different.
Yeah.
There was a ranch they took refuge in after they got. After they
Yeah, the
killed all
Spawn
the
Ranch
people.
thing ended. They had to go on the run again.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the murders, I think you're right. They're hiding out
and it was
somewhere
because
else.
they had fucking killed everybody, right? Like, you can't just stay here. Like, they're gonna look here first, kind of thing.
I think they threatened the foreman of the ranch with something. I don't know. They're fucked.
Oh yeah, big time.
They're fucked. That being said, should we get on to an Ask an Expert, boys? That was a pretty good little story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that everything?
let's
Did
hear
we
it.
cover it all?
Pretty much.
I'm
I
satisfied.
That's one of those ones, though, you could like deep dive and go through that real slow, but we kind of glossed over
it.
Yeah,
Just got
just
into it.
real good, like Charlie would.
Just
Well,
like
you
Charlie
guys
would.
both did a lot of remembering of names, so that was impressive.
It's a good story.
I guess. I think
Yeah.
that girl's name was Linda. The one I'm thinking of, that flip-flop
Fuck
got
off.
everybody. But yeah, it's too late. It's gone.
It's
Good
gone.
enough.
I blew it.
It's gone.
Yeah. I do know that Patricia has filed a thing about the battered woman syndrome, and that I think it's still pending, but saying basically like they were brainwashed, a lot of those girls, and
But
now
they
they're
still-
fucking, like 70 years old in prison, you know.
That's where
I
they
don't-
should be. Fuck them.
They should be there. Yeah, I don't think anyone that's like that easily led should be allowed back out.
This
No.
is true. There
Like-
was in the one interview that we watched, the Van Houten girl. You could still see like a
Oh, yeah.
scar in her head from the X that she had carved in her flesh.
Yeah, well.
Like I
Well,
think it's
fucking
pretty
live
cool,
with it,
but
bitch.
stay in jail, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough, right? Like,
Yeah, you did this heinous shit. Fucking
Yeah.
suffer.
Can you just imagine,
Yeah.
like, if you worked with her at like a grocery store? Like, she's not going to get any good jobs when she's out. She's going to be stocking shelves.
No.
And like that's who you work with, the fucking bullshit you'd have to like hear from, and like always being afraid of being like, yeah, this fucking girl stabbed someone 16 times over
Now, do you
nothing.
think that she would get like a pension or social security or whatever in the States?
yeah, I guess that's another thing. Like, if you're getting out at like 70, it's not like you're joining the workforce.
No, you're retired from
Yeah.
murder and from life.
Yeah,
you can never
should
be
see
retired
it.
from murder. It's on hiatus.
On that note,
Yeah, like,
Oh,
no way. Don't let her out.
No, you're right. Keep them up. Keep
I
'em
think murder is just
their
one
own
of those
dude.
ones that's just like no rehabilitation. Like I just can't imagine if you're driven to murder once, and I'm not talking about manslaughter where it's like heat of the moment, but
Yeah.
like full on, you decide to go and murder somebody, especially with a knife, and stab them 17 times. Like, no amount of sitting in jail thinking about it's gonna like 100%. I'll never do this again. It's like someone's gonna fucking piss you off. Someone's gonna like piss off a friend that you're gonna stick up for, and you've made that decision once. Like, it's always easier to make that decision twice.
If you're capable of doing it once, then
you're
odds
capable.
are good you're going to do it again.
Yeah. Maybe the odds are good you won't do it again, but like you are capable for sure of doing it again.
Yeah.
Capable ones.
Capable once,
Yeah.
capable twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like, I feel like it's not like they're like letting them out with Charlie Manson again. Like,
yeah,
you
but
know,
if they
you don't got
found
that
fuck 'em,
asshole
though.
whispering in your ear, like that was part of it. Like, his defense was that he didn't do anything, and that you know, these girls did their own thing. And in the interview with Diane Sawyer that I watched, like, she asked him like that, like, what did you tell them before they left? And like, you know, in his creepy way, basically just like, I told them that like if they were gonna do it, like better just go and do it right and do something witchy. Do something witchy so they'll remember you and have a nice day. And it was like, oh my god, like the word witchy, I think, stuck out.
Something
like,
witchy.
Do something witchy. And like, he's such a weird man.
That southern drawl he had wasn't doing him any favors as far as being weird goes.
No.
I don't know. I could listen to him talk.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like. I just mean like it made it a little extra creepy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the dead eyes, the dead black eyes.
Oh yeah.
Just like,
yeah.
You're only just seeing the reflection of the light in his eyes, black soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Piece of
Crazy
work.
dude.
It's a piece of
I just
work.
wish he talked about things that weren't so shitty, you know?
Witchy.
Witchy. Do something witchy.
Less race crime, please.
Or like
kidding.
I don't know, there's a part where he talks about his mother and like takes the first person with his mother. And he says something, I'm not even making this up, just like, I never had a husband. My husband's name was Scott. And then I had Tyler Manson. Like, it's such a... This is like a quote from the interview. It was so funny. Never had a husband. My husband's name was Scott. I don't know. Fucking just wild.
Wow.
So we got an Ask an Expert this week?
Of course. Brian
Wow.
from Toronto.
Every time.
Nice.
Brian wants to know. The experts are stranded on a desert island with absolutely no chance of rescue. What roles do we all take to build a new society, and what do you use to masturbate?
Wow. Well, my role would be to take care of myself, you know.
That's a good role.
that's my fucking role. And I would be lopping off body parts and using your hands to masturbate.
Wow.
So I got food and pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where I'm staying.
I thought we would just use each other to masturbate. That's what I thought. Like,
No, man,
let's
I'm
just
living
come-
high on the hog, dude.
I totally
Let's
glossed
come
over
together.
the masturbating part, and I was looking forward to building a society with you guys, but apparently it's going to be an island of 3 castles.
no, not even. I'm more just like, if that's Mike's stance, like RJU, I should just start the fucking like anti-Mike committee and just kill him and eat him.
Like Lord of the Fries. Piggy.
Yeah. Come on, piggy.
Yeah,
Fucking
try your
throw a
hand
rock
there,
at him.
big boys.
I would
Yeah.
definitely build my personal castle in a tree. Just high from tsunamis. That seems to be a thing this year.
Right then and there, I'm not getting to you because I can't climb a tree worth of shit. So you're safe. You're safe. Get off the ground. You're safe.
Yeah. Damn. Like, how big's the
But if you
island?
come down
Are we-
for
is
anything,
this-
if you come down for anything, it's fair game. I'm gonna eat
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Are we fucking... yeah.
You lop your hand out and
Taking
eat
your
you.
hands and I'm jerking off with them. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What a terrible island to be on. I guess I would have to take to the trees too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get up high.
Everyone's just taking to the trees. So,
Yeah. It's the only way. Up a big mountain, maybe.
fucking
Like, how big?
Mike.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is this like a castaway? Like, is there a
I
big
think
enough
it-
cliff that we
I
could
think it's
commit
castaway
suicide
big.
on if we had to?
yeah, there's raft building material.
Okay.
But
You're not gonna live that long to think
No.
about suicide. You kidding me?
he's going to be brooding around below your tree, fully
You're just gonna
engorged.
eat everybody.
I'm gonna start practicing running in sand right now. That's gonna be my summer activity
Your
this year.
fucking overalls with so much sand in every pocket.
Rubber boots weighing me down. You never seen a fat man swim in rubber boots?
Yeah.
Coming for you.
See, I don't know. I always debate fucking like sending in the video to join Survivor. So I think I would like do really good on a castaway if I didn't have someone trying to eat me.
I always find like I don't really watch Survivor, but every time I do, people are just complaining about being hungry all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be good at that show for that reason. That
Me
I'm not
too.
so like pampered to
Me
need to eat
too.
4 times a day that like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd for sure
I
just
feel
steal
the same
food from
way.
everybody else. Yeah.
I mean, I got the reserves. So if I,
Yeah, see, Mike, you got the reserves.
You got the reserves.
felt some compassion towards you guys, I wouldn't have to eat you.
If I was
Right,
on Survivor, I would definitely do a raid of
But
the
you
other
still
survivors.
I still would.
But yeah.
You
No,
should
I
send
think
in a video.
I might even take a leadership role. I might be like, hey.
Okay. Well,
let's
we all
rise
have
up
our own
against Mike.
castles, so there's plenty of leadership roles available.
Yeah.
No, really, let's take the eating each other out off the table, okay? Not gonna happen. We're never gonna do it. We're not gonna eat each other.
Only gonna have if you die, then we eat you. It's like alive rules.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dig a hole, keep your body fresh in some cold ground.
Even if you're, like, really close to dying.
Yeah.
Then okay, maybe.
Like, don't wait
But
an
then how
extra
would you
couple
kill
days.
someone? Like, it's not like you got a pillow to just drop on them.
No, you're
I'd
gonna,
say
like,
you tenderize them. Get them off that cliff,
Talk 'em-
drop them off the cliff.
I was gonna say put him on a spit like a pig and,
Ooh,
Vladimir
alive?
Taylor style.
Roast them alive?
Yeah, just get the big old fucking wood through the ass out
Can
the
we
mouth.
just start talking like there's a 4th person on this island and that's who we're gonna eat?
No.
No? Okay, because I don't really want to eat you guys.
One of us is getting spit roasted or
Spit roasted.
thrown off the fucking cliff.
I think my first job on the island would be building the spit for whoever the first one who dies.
He built his own spit. What a guy. What a guy.
Start carving up some rocks. Making some
I think
knives.
shelter is priority, right? Shelter,
If it's
water
really nice
collection.
island, water collection. I'll just piss. Piss in your mouths.
Piss.
Take turns peeing in each other's mouths.
It's just going to be coming out brown by week 2, It's like, I don't want to drink that.
It tastes like
Ooh.
kidney.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you gotta get water. Water's first. You gotta fucking.
I'm
maybe-
picturing wild hogs, too, on this island. Wild hogs. So we'd have to contend with that.
No, food is last on the list. You need water. If you don't
Yeah,
have
water.
water, like you're gonna die, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you gotta fucking you get your water, and then maybe a shelter, and then you gotta get fire, and then
Yeah.
And once you
Water
got the
and
fire-
shelter.
once you get the fire, then you get the food, then you get the women.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're not sure there's not an indigenous tribe on this island, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think scouting for women is priority 4. Yeah.
Scary
Yeah.
for women.
Before fire.
Before fire.
They don't need to see it.
Water, shelter, food, women. Yeah.
Yeah. And then lube.
Yeah, lube, priority 6.
Yeah. Somehow to make lube.
Somewhere in there, you got to think of like an activity that you can do, so that after the women, you can say like, "I'm too busy, honey. I gotta go." Collect
I gotta go
rocks.
fashion you some more tampons.
Gotta go build a new bridge.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. What do you do to keep? You gotta like. I just build like a shitty instrument.
You'd be making
Yeah.
music off everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
just
it might just
banging
be two
turtles
sticks.
together.
Getting
Just
different
hitting
sized
sticks off
bamboos.
trees,
Yeah.
singing stick songs. That's I think what you gotta do if you want to.
I think you could probably make a pump organ out of some bamboo. That'd be pretty rad.
Maybe a small
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah, get some small birds in there.
Step on birds.
Don't even eat them. Don't even eat these birds. Just turn them into musical instruments.
I'm thinking not even just like. Yeah, like RJ said, like just stepping on birds. That's your hobby.
There's some squish and a honk.
Lure them down to the ground and then fucking stomp on them. Real good.
Oh, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I think,
no, I don't think I would survive very long. I'd probably just jump off that cliff head first.
I'd say 3 years. I bet you could, if you got your shit figured out with water and food, you could make it a couple years.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It'd probably be the isolation that would get you and fuck with your head more than like, you know, dealing with the survival aspect.
That's you just gotta wait for some plastic to wash up on shore.
Oh yeah. That won't take long. Yeah, there's plenty of garbage in the ocean.
Yeah, you could make something.
Might even find a woman or two.
Yeah, some woman will wash up.
If we washed up on this island, there's odds are someone else is gonna wash up.
Good odds.
And then we eat them. and we're good for a couple months.
Stomp on them like an old bird.
Yeah. Step on his little bird neck. Yeah.
Wait for him to sleep.
Does that answer your question, Brian?
Yeah.
Does that answer?
I think that's the full answer. There'll be an island of 3 castles. Musical instruments will be played. There'll be search for women.
Yeah. And lube.
Lube. Fire is not a priority.
Yeah.
And anybody that shows up afterwards will be stomped on the neck like a bird. Don't forget to listen to Frontline Fiesta.
Frontline Fiesta. And you could like and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, lots of places.
Yeah,
and
check it out.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. We are Pretty Much Experts. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. While you're at it, go have a look at our Facebook page. You can ask an expert any time of day or night, whatever you like. And if you're into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, baby. Thanks again, everybody. Tune in next week. We are Pretty Much Experts, and we love you, I guess.